We welcome our learners and the audience to this MOOC on heritage tourism. I am Dr. Nivarani Fukan, Associate Professor Assamese from the discipline of Assamese, Krishnakanta Handike State Open University, and I welcome you all to this interesting module number 5, which is Heritage Narratives and Interpretation. In this module, we have 2 units. Unit 1 is Storytelling and Memory, and the second unit is Constructing Narratives in Tourism. Today, we are going to discuss on the first unit, that is Storytelling and Memory. Now, what is storytelling? Storytelling is a kind of interactive art form where a storyteller tells the story and a listener listens to the story. The act of telling a story may involve words or actions, choice of suitable words, and carefully woven out sentences enhance oral storytelling. Storytelling is a device by which an individual can express his mind, his thoughts, and the way he feels about his surroundings before a second person. Since time immemorial, oral storytelling may have been the ideal mode of relaxation and recreation for the human civilization. Prominent Austrian American sociologist and Protestant theologian Peter Ludwig Berger has said that human life is narratively rooted. Human beings construct their lives and shape their world into homes in terms of these groundings and memories. Creativity of the human mind plays a prominent role in shaping outline of stories. The motivational force behind oral storytelling in the first place shapes individual life and his destiny as well. In the long run, the personal destiny of an individual in society may shape the destiny of his society or clan. Now, when we talk of storytelling, we get to know about some types of storytelling. And what are those? There are different types of storytelling. And now we are going to throw light on those types. There are 4 types of storytelling. These are oral storytelling, visual storytelling, written storytelling, and digital storytelling. Oral storytelling is that mode of storytelling where an individual orally narrates a story and one or more individuals listens to the story. Oral storytelling is a timeless phenomenon. It has been an enduring saga since the beginning of the human civilization till the present times. In regard to oral storytelling, tools and devices have changed over time, but the pure engagement derived from listening to the oral storytelling still maintains its flavor. With the passage of time, oral form of storytelling changed and the stories took written shape. Still, with the invention of new technology, the oral storytelling has regained its former glory through podcasts, radio plays, etc. Visual storytelling is a mode of using images to share a story. Early men may have made rough sketches on the wall of caves to depict or describe an incident of their life. Most of these experiences were related to their mundane life activities. With the passing of time and dawn of new technology, these cave paintings and drawings made way to comic books and comic strips. This mode of storytelling could captivate both the young and old alike. Here, we are people of various age groups, of, to be very frank, different generations. But All these generations are binded together. And what is it? That is the stories. We have already said that the mode of storytelling can captivate both the young and old alike. When we are younger, we had lots of comics. We had Indrajal comics, then Marvel comics, then we have Tinkle. It's a very interesting book where we gain a lot of knowledge, general knowledge, and we get to know about mythology, we get to know about myths, many things about science, about daily life, about value system, everything. And their Amar Chitra Kathas. These were the storybooks or the comics which we read when we were young. And now this new generation also, their mode of enjoyment, entertainment is different. They also get to know about these stories, about Marvel comics. They get to know about Superman, about Spider-Man, about Batman, about the heroes of the Ramayana, of the Mahabharata, about about the animal world, about Panchatantra, about Tinkle, about the the animal, about the animal characters there. All these things also known to the young people of today, but they get in a different format. But the thing is that all these generations, our generation and the new generation, we are bound by these books. And even now, many of the younger people, they enjoy, and the older ones also, they enjoy. So, storytelling or storybooks, it can bound generations. And that is the most interesting aspect of storytelling as well as storybooks. Now let us go to another form of storytelling. That is the written form of storytelling. Written form of storytelling is known as written storytelling. With the development of script and into a written language, its transition helped human civilization to move ahead further. The oral storytelling took the form of written storytelling. This written form of storytelling has seen many forms. Novel writing is one popular form of written storytelling which can both motivate and energize an individual's mind. So, the comics books, it is still there, and now we have fiction writing. These are the novels and short stories. Then we get another form of storytelling, that is the digital storytelling. Digital storytelling is that mode of storytelling where multimedia, technology, narrative, and interactive play prominent role in the delivery process of this creative exercise. Digital storytelling is the latest addition to mode of storytelling. It is all the boon of new technology which makes such presentation a success. As like the traditional stories, the narrative of this mode also focuses on a central theme, plot, characters, and point of view. It is the tools that make such a presentation uncommon, where photos, video clips, graphics, music, voiceover, text, and use of computer software play a significant role. As our main focus is on heritage narratives and its interpretation, so we need to understand some basic aspects related to both the Eastern world's narrative as well as the narrative of the Western world. The narratives of the Western world tend to be individualistic, whereas the narratives of the Eastern world place greater emphasis on collective harmony and tend to avoid conflict. A comparative study of the same will highlight differences between these two types of narrative. Now, we have a different topic to discuss over here. That is the Western and Eastern world narrative, a comparison. The West believes in the power of the individual. The storyline is always focused on the individual self, whereas in the East, it is not the individual or individualism that gains prominence, but the collective idea of the self. Clarity is another prominent feature of the Western story. Anyone reading a Western story can gauge its ending. Unlike the Western story, things are different in the Eastern world. The Eastern storylines are full of ambiguity. There is the presence of a distinct storyline, power, and unity in Western stories. Here, the hero conquers the evil forces, love prevails, and the truth is set free. Unlike this, in Eastern stories, heroism does take place, but it tends to be a result of wider group like cooperation and team effort. Unlike the Western hero, in Eastern storytelling, true heroism is often marked with sacrifice. It is through sacrifice that the wider family and extended community is saved. The Western hero may aspire for personal glory. On the other hand, the Eastern hero doesn't boast of himself, preferring concealment of virtues instead. Western readers do not accept ambiguous endings, but for Eastern readers, an unclear solution makes perfect sense. So, what is this? It means that the Western readers always wants concrete result, concrete endings. That is what the beginning, the mid part, and the ending all must have coordination and correlation so that the reader may gauge it. That the hero is doing this, he may face these situations, but by the end, this will be the result. They can gauge it. But in case of the Eastern stories, the Eastern writers do not put it that way. They always keep back some ambiguity. It is to the reader to understand by himself or herself what the writer wants to say. Because in Eastern reading, it is felt that each and every one of the individuals have a different mindset. Their worlds are different, their mental worlds are different. So, the ending of a story, whatever it may, if individual A accepts it in his way, in some particular way, individual B may not accept it in that way. He or she may think it differently. So there is, to some extent, there is, independence of thinking, independence of expressing, yes, this is so. So that is why the ending of the Eastern stories are not like that of the Western stories. According to writer and translator Neil Wright, Westerners enjoy reading about how individuals struggle to achieve their goals, while Easterners enjoy teasing out the narrative harmony in their epics. For Westerners, who tend to see the world as in fragments, life is a jigsaw that can be fitted back together. For the Easterners, life is a never-ending field of forces that all interconnect. The desire is to try and harmonize these forces if they appear to have unraveled. So, There is differences between the Western perspective of understanding a story, enjoying a story, and it is different the other way around. That is, for the Eastern reader, things are a bit different. And this is due to the social upbringings, the social environment, and value system, and many other things, both physical and mental. Now we come to memory. What is memory? Memory is the faculty of the mind by which data or information is encoded, stored, and retrieved when needed. So, this is a general term of memory. Now, as we are dealing with storytelling, memory has a part to play in storytelling also. Because it is through memory that something is retold. If there is no memory, there is no storytelling. One cannot look back. Nowhere. So, in storytelling, memory has a specific part to play. In storytelling, memory is both the source material and a powerful tool for engagement, acting as a bridge connecting narrative to emotion, authenticity, and deeper meaning, allowing writers and speakers to transform raw facts into relatable, impactful experiences by adding sensory details, emotion, and structure for better recall. So, here, when we talk of memory, that is, memory is what? From the past. We go back to our past. Mentally, we go back to our past and we try to remember some past activities, some past incidents, some past pictures, whatever be it, some past sins, whatever be it, of our life, or it may be related to someone else's life. It is not that we are always, our memory is always related to our own lives. In creative art, memory plays a very important part, and particularly in storytelling, it has a very important part to play. And here we have used the words by adding sensory details, emotion, and structure for better recall. Well, let us take an example. Say, let us take the example of sensory details. What are the sensory details? The sensory of the sense organs is related to our sense organs. The sense of touch, the sense of smell, the sense of taste, the sense of the sight. All these things are there. So, suppose we are going somewhere. It may be you, it may be me, anyone. Suppose I'm going somewhere. I'm strolling in the park. I'm strolling in the park. It's a beautiful day. It's springtime, perhaps, and it's always green around me. Everywhere it's very beautiful weather. Then I sense a smell, a beautiful smell of some wildflowers. Of some wildflowers, yes. It may not be some regular flowers growing in the garden or where I'm going to the green area. It may be some wildflowers giving out a beautiful smell. So this is an example. Let's go for it. So I could smell it, and then the smell made me remember something. The green around me, the slow breeze, and the smell of the wildflowers. I remembered that yes, this smell I have enjoyed before. I think, then I think, and try to remember that where, when, when smell that, when I felt that smell, when I enjoyed that smell, then I remember that yes, when I was younger, when I was a small girl, I was in some different place perhaps. Then when we used to walk our way all the way to school, long path, it's a long path, we walk to school, and there by the side of the road, small bushes were there, and those wildflowers grew in those bushes. Yes, then I remember, yeah, this is my memory of childhood. So this is what that is sensory detail. Then I remember that perhaps I was going with my siblings, or I was going with my friends, school friends, and then I remember. Then when one memory comes, many memory, then one after another, some, just like the just like in the movie reels go after one after another. So the memories come one by one. That's a little sensory details. And emotion is our happiness, our sorrow, it may be a surprise, all these things are there. So there are also memory may be related to some emotions. So our life, the different experiences of our life, and the emotions related to those experiences, those may be connected to some old past memory. And in storytelling, a creative person in storytelling, he can bring those memory, he can weave those memory into beautiful stories. And our ancestors did the same thing. The thing is that they added spice. They added spice to their mundane memories. They added spice to it and just express it. And that is what the creativity does. It adds more flavor to the mundane description to some extent. The memory is a creative process where the past is reconstructed, not just recalled, creating vivid worlds and characters. Now, let us see what is the connection between memory and storytelling. As mentioned earlier, memory is a powerful tool in regard to storytelling. It is the striving tool which, since the beginning of human civilization, has been improvising to meet the demand and taste of people across different geographical boundaries and communities. The improvisation can be identified in the written texts of stories which have grown and changed form gradually. Memory is closely related to the human mind, the individual mind. Furthermore, material conditions and environment may also have impact on human memory. So, a memory or the user memory can weave the storyline into something unique. And now we have a question. How is a memory in a story written? In this process, a character transitions to thinking about the past and anchoring into the past experience with a tense change. The memory of the event comes into form in full or partially. In this module, we are dealing with not only storytelling and memory, but also constructing narratives in tourism. So, constructing narratives in tourism, that part we will discuss later. But as both these units are interrelated, we need to know something. we need to discuss something, and that is that in relate to heritage tourism, how the memory in storytelling important. And as far as motivation, as far as interest, as far as the inquisitiveness or curiosity of the tourist is concerned, storytelling by anyone, it may be the tourist guide or it may be someone at the particular tourist spot, may be very interesting. How? Let's take, for example, any place, any heritage site of Assam. We are from Assam. Our university is Krishnakanta Handike State Open University, and we cater to lots of inquisitive learners of our state. And as this is an institutional MOOC, it's an online MOOC. So, perhaps learners across the state, across the country, across the seas may get to know about this MOOC, may get to know about heritage tourism in this part of India. That is the Northeast. And Assam is one of the most strategic point of the Northeast. And here we have a rich heritage. We have monuments, we have historical places of interesting aspects, many things we have. We have rich biodiversity and a lot more. So, as far as heritage tourism is concerned, storytelling has an important part to play as to make the tourists understand a particular site's importance, its history, the fascinating past related to the site. And it is not always the tourist guide from whom we can know about a particular heritage site. It may be from the people around that particular site. It may be from someone old, from some octogenarian who has been residing in that place since long, since generations. Their family has been there since generations. And when it is storytelling, it passes on from generation to generation. And in the same way, the memory is carried over from one generation to the other generation. So sometimes it is not always the tourist guide who can tell about that place. Yes, they have important information, they have fascinating information, but sometimes the people around that place, the common man around that place, they may also have some very interesting facts to tell about that place. Perhaps that may be something related to old folk tradition, beliefs, but still there may be some truth in there, or there may be some interesting facts to know. And these things may tell, may speak a lot about that particular site, about the materialistic condition around the site, natural environment, and the changes over time that the place has faced, the natural elements which have made some changes to that site, to its geographical position, etc., etc. And when it is Assam, when things are related to the place called Assam, we get to know a lot of fascinating facts. It is in the seismic zone. Earthquakes happen, and devastating earthquakes happen over the centuries. And to some extent, the historical monuments of Assam and some other relics, those have faced the brunt of the earthquake and other climatic changes. So, many tales and stories may be related to those changes. And those changes, the story of those changes, it may be good, it may be something very, devastating, it may be something very strange. Sometimes some strange experience may have been experienced by people that have no explanation perhaps. So all these are part of memory, and the people, generation to generation, these tales are remembered, are preserved, and are talked of. And in creative literature, sometimes these memories find way to fascinating fictional writings. So, memory in story writing is an interesting aspect, and it gives vibrancy to the storyline, whether be it in the characterization or the storyline, the plot, or the different incidents or the conflict shown in the story. All these may be interesting, and from these stories we get to know many things related to the past, related to our own material culture, folk culture, and our past history. So, in a word to say, storytelling and memory, these two aspects cannot be kept apart. In fact, they have connections, they have some connectivity with one another, and it can project life, it can project the development of a culture, the transition of a society to a great extent. So we have come to the end of our discussion. Here you have come to know about what is storytelling and what is memory, what is its importance in story writing. This is all for today. Another day we are going to talk about constructing narratives in tourism. That will be one more discovery, a different experience, and something to learn, something to understand, and something to realize concerning heritage tourism. So we say goodbye to our learners, to the audience. Hope to see you soon. Namaskar.